to Spectral Hauntings. Unveil the mysteries of the supernatural with us. Dive into the shadows and explore the ethereal realms as we showcase ghostly encounters, haunted locations, and spine-chilling tales of the paranormal. Join us on a journey beyond the veil, where each video is a portal to the unknown. What to expect? In-depth investigations into haunted places, real and compelling ghost encounters, hauntingly beautiful locations with a dark history, and paranormal stories that send shivers down your spine. Open the door to the other side. Whether you're a seasoned ghost hunter or a curious skeptic, our channel offers a window into the spectral unknown. Prepare to be captivated by the unexplained, the mysterious, and the downright eerie. Join the spectral crew. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and become a part of our spectral community. Share your own ghostly encounters, theories, and thoughts in the comments. After all, in the world of the paranormal, every perspective adds a new layer to the mystery. Embark on this supernatural journey with us. Subscribe now and let the hauntings begin.
Every now and again, we're reminded that things are definitely not what they seem. For many people, explaining some of the footage you're about to see would be downright impossible. Fortunately, we have the footage to back the claims up, and even for the most ardent skeptic, these clips are about to turn you into believers in the fact that our world is weird. Because these are some of the scariest and yet most unexplainable events ever caught on camera. Join us as we have a look at 20 paranormal events caught on camera. Number 20. A spooked cat. To kick things off, we'll take you to Ontario, Canada, where a cat mother caught some really spooky stuff going on in her home. Kathy Gallagher, a 45-year-old lady, made headlines in 2022 when she claimed that she had gotten evidence of the supernatural. At the time, she explained that she had just moved into her home in Ontario and that she had noticed a lot of strange things going on. She was especially spooked by the fact that objects appeared to simply be moving on their own, and weirded out but still determined to get to the bottom of it, she decided to set up CCTV cameras at different parts of the house. On one fateful day, she would appear to find what she was looking for. Her cat, interestingly named Salem, was sitting on its own staring at two nesting dolls when it suddenly got up and ran. But if you take a closer look at the footage, you tell me that you don't see something jump out from one of the dolls' bodies. As Kathy explained, the doll had actually belonged to her mother, and it dated back to the 1950s. The family heirloom or not, I don't think that doll would be in my house much longer after that. Number 19. The Dobby Mystery. You know how certain things seem unreal but suddenly begin to turn up once more people believe in them? Well, it appears that J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series has become such a cultural icon that we're now seeing characters from it literally come to life. Back in 2019, Vivian Gomez, a woman based in Colorado Springs, raised a huge alarm after she claimed that she had seen footage of a creature that seemed to look suspiciously like Dobby the Elf, the popular character from the Harry Potter movies, and to make things even more interesting, she literally presented proof. As Vivian would explain, the creature had opened a door at her home and had come out. Then it sauntered onto the driveway and did a quick frolic before vanishing into the dead of night. Sadly for her, she was unable to actually find additional footage of her CCTV camera because it was limited.
My camera only goes for 10 seconds. It just cut off at that point.
Now, I know that you can't blame the camera at this point, but I really wish that it had just stayed for a little while longer. Some people claim that the figure could have been Vivian's 9-year-old son, Bobby, just goofing around, but considering that the figure looked really lanky and had very bowed legs, I would doubt it. Perhaps the Dobby is real after all. Number 18. The Great Ghostly. Now, if you're a fan of literature and classic films, then you probably were a fan of The Great Gatsby. The magnum opus of F. Scott Fitzgerald, the book is one of the best-selling titles of all time, and it was also adapted into one of the most entertaining movies of our time, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire. While many of us have been thrilled by The Great Gatsby, one of the most intriguing characters in the film was, of course, Daisy Buchanan. She was the leading lady in the movie, and many believe that her character was influenced by Ginevra King, a socialite that lived between 1898 and 1980 and who was rumored to have had an affair with Fitzgerald. In 2018, a woman named Christy Ranieri was on a walk close to the summer house owned by King when she spotted something strange. As she would explain, she had stopped to take a selfie when she got home and examined the picture, and what do you know, there was something that looked like a ghost peeking out behind her. As Christy would explain, that can only be the ghost of Ginevra King, showing that she still is very much roaming around the world. I have my doubts, but I'd sure love to hear your thoughts on this one in the comment section down below. Number 17. Aching for a haircut. Now, normally if you go in for a haircut, you know what to expect. People like you seated in front of mirrors getting their hair done. But on this day, I don't think the guys at this particular salon expected what they got. This clip, taken back in 2010, shows the moment that something truly spooky happened at a hair salon. According to the salon's owner, he had actually been a bit skeptical about installing cameras, but ended up being glad that he did. You'll notice that the entire salon, only a woman is getting her hair done, with 2 seats being empty. And then if you take a good look at the chair in the distance with the dark blue cape...
Oh, shit. Oh, hell to the no. Hell no. Did you just... Oh, shit. Oh, hell no.
I mean, first of all, the chair raised up by itself, as if someone had stood up from it, and then the cape kind of shrinks inside instead of falling down. The entire thing was crazy enough to scare the guy sitting close to it, and to be honest, I would be out of there as well if it were me. Number 16. The Thirsty Ghost. You know that feeling when you've been saying something to someone, but no one ever believes you until you show them proof? Well, you can only imagine how vindicated this woman must have felt when she finally caught some paranormal activity in her home on camera. Back in 2012, Donna Ayers began raising an alarm about the different weird activities around her house. That included, and especially the fact, that things were seemingly moving on their own. Looking to really nail the proof, she decided to take a video recording, and right on cue, she captured something, literally in her kitchen, that decided to move a cup.
Oh my gosh. The surface isn't wet or anything, it's all dry, so there's no reason for it to be moving.
To cover any bias, Donna did show underneath the platform where the cup was to reveal that there was nothing there, so the question remains, what on earth was actually moving that cup? According to the lady, she believed that she was being haunted by her late brother. If that is the case, I wonder if the guy's just thirsty in the great beyond or something. I mean, hey, when you've got to quench your thirst, you've got to quench your thirst, right? Number 15. Messing with a victim. Most people who experience paranormal activities tend to have first-hand experience literally on their own, and that experience can be quite harrowing when you're by yourself. Now, for a perfect example of this, we'll take a look at this guy. The clip, which was taken in November of 2017, shows a guy working late at the office when he suddenly hears an alarm going off. As the clip will show, he decides to go and check it out, and eventually came back thinking that he was done, but little did he know that whatever was behind the entire thing was not done messing with him. Visibly scared once again, the guy decides to go and check out what's happening. I don't know what happened behind the camera, but he was so spooked that he literally hightailed it out of there and ran away. I don't think that he'll be coming back to work the next day, though. Number 14. Ghosts in school. If you're a parent, you must have heard your children give some funny reasons why they don't want to go to school, like it's cold outside, or they feel sick even when they're not, or perhaps the bus driver's just mean to them. Well, what about it if the school is haunted by a ghost? Back in 2017, CCTV footage would show a weird moment when things began to get kind of spooky at a middle school in Ireland. As the footage would show, things began when a backpack suddenly flew off the top of a locker. Then, as if that wasn't enough, one of the posters on the wall decided to take a trip to the ground as well. And for a third act, the chairs in the hallway started moving on their own. According to reports, the school in question had long been rumored to be haunted because the land on which it was built used to be an execution ground for criminals. But it looks like the guys are hunting for some vengeance and taking it out on those poor school materials. Number 13. Ghost in the Crib. Being a parent can be challenging. You're constantly looking to protect them from harm, but while maintaining your children's safety from physical danger is pretty easy, how do you protect them when there's harm from the other side? Back in 2019, Josh Higgins and Heather Brow, a couple based out of Michigan, made the news after they had shared footage of what they truly believed to be a ghost that was haunting their little girl, Lily. As the parents set up a camera to monitor their daughter, they would be shocked to find what appeared to be a specter moving through her room. And as you would expect, it startled the little girl.
The couple's nanny cam video a few weeks ago, what appears to be something moving in front of the baby crib.
The parents added that the ghostly shape had been assaulting them, first the daughter and then Heather herself.
It scares us that it could do something else. I mean, there was even a morning that I woke up and I had felt like something was around like someone's hands were around my neck.
And according to paranormal investigators that were brought in to check out the scene, the man who had originally lived in the home had taken his own life, so it appears that his ghost may have had unfinished business in the home. Seems like it might be time to move out a little earlier than planned. Number 12. The Haunted Pot Store. Back to stories of ghosts that might be trying to make contact with the physical world, our next story takes us to Oregon, where the owner of a dispensary claimed that his shop was apparently being haunted. In 2018, a man named Andy Gomez, who owned a pot dispensary, claimed that he had substantial proof that his shop was being haunted by ghosts. And for that proof, he showed this surveillance footage, and just watch the pot jar as it suddenly begins to move while he's arranging the place. To make things worse here, Andy added that he had felt a weird presence while the whole thing was happening.
As it was happening, I kind of felt like somebody was standing next to me, or like somebody was like right here.
And if that wasn't enough, check out the jar with the pens on the counter. Now keep in mind that this is a pot dispensary. Any doctoring of surveillance footage could land the guys in jail. Could we have a ghost looking to just simply burn some trees? Who really knows? Number 11. Ghost Feline. Now for something that just can't be explained anywhere, take a look at this piece of footage. Captured in 2019, this footage shows two cats sitting calmly on the front porch of their owner's home. It looks pretty chill. Well, you're about to see something weird though. Suddenly, one of those cats appeared to have been scared by something that was coming out of the shrubs close to the two of them. And that's when it decided to run for the hills, leaving his partner alone. But just as soon as the cat takes off, it seemingly vanishes. Now, where did he go? Did he literally turn into a firefly and float away? Where on earth did it go? The craziest thing was that the feline's partner seemingly just looked unbothered about the entire thing. Either the cat was on his own wave, or he'd probably seen his partner do that before, but either way, it's some crazy stuff if you ask me. Number 10. Superhuman Speed. You'll probably want to buckle up for this one because it's the type of thing you'll need to see to believe. In 2019, a mysterious video made the rounds that showed what appeared to be a superhuman or ghost figure saving a lady's life. The footage, which was from a local CCTV camera, showed the little unsupervised lady trying to cross the street on her own. Obviously, things like this will rarely end very well, and for a time, you kind of get the feeling that she's about to be hit. And then all of a sudden, a figure comes and grabs her literally out of nowhere. Nobody knows what the figure was or even how it managed to make the most unbelievable rescue you'll ever see. But whoever or whatever that thing was, thank goodness it was in the right place at the right time, because the entire situation would have definitely gone south if it hadn't intervened. Number 9. Talking to nobody. One of the most challenging jobs is that of a security guard, especially if you work in a public place and need to deal with different types of people daily. However, what if you had to deal with a literal ghost? In 2022, a story would go viral about a security guard at a hospital in Argentina who claimed to have spoken with a customer, even though all evidence points to otherwise. CCTV footage would show the security guard, who was working on the night shift, suddenly walking up and opening the barricade, except that he was doing it for nobody. As the footage would show, the guard was clearly standing like he was attending to someone, and according to the guy, he was. Per reports, the security guard claimed that at around 3 a.m. that morning, an elderly woman came to the lobby claiming she had forgotten something in her room. And so he took her name down and gestured that she should go up, as we saw in the video. The security guard even offers her a wheelchair, but she refuses, as evidenced by this clip. And after a while, the security guy just starts getting worried because she hasn't returned. And so he called up to her room and would be shocked to find that there was no one there. Even worse, hospital authorities would confirm that no one had been in the room the entire night. To his dismay, the authorities claimed that the elderly lady who had been in that room had died the day before their encounter, and the woman's name was the same one that he had written down on his clipboard. If there was ever a sign to quit your job, it's safe to say this was probably it. Number 8. The Baby Pusher. Ashley Scott, a woman from Tennessee, has claimed that she's had several run-ins with the paranormal since she was a toddler. From ghosts visiting her in her crib to the spirits that she's talked to, she's claimed not to be unfamiliar with supernatural occurrences. So I'm guessing that this one wouldn't have been much of a shock to her. Back in 2022, footage from the room of Ashley's son Gavin surprised many people, as it showed what appeared to have been a ghost pushing the boy. As the footage would show, Gavin had climbed up on a shelf while he was in his room with Ashley's partner, Chris. Then, all of a sudden, this happened. Now, I don't know about you, but I doubt that babies just tip over and fall like that. Was the wind just too strong? Or perhaps it was a ghost giving little Gavin a nudge. Number 7. Getting the right angle. Located in Omaha, Nebraska, the Museum of Shadows claims to be one of the most haunted museums in the world. They claim to have thousands of certified haunted items, all of which have been stored away safely. While many might argue about the claim, the museum has shared several interesting pieces of footage to show the types of activities taking place, and this one definitely ranks as one of the craziest. Captured in 2020, the clip shows what appears to be the basement of the museum where several artifacts are kept, and just watch as a chair begins to rotate. Either that chair suddenly developed a mind of its own, or there's someone sitting in it, someone who does not want to be seen. Either way, I'm surely glad that I don't work there. Number 6. A dog-eat-dog world. Seeing animals being scared can be pretty awful. However, for this clip, I'd really want to see what the heck was going on. The clip in question would be uploaded to TikTok in 2021, and it shows the harrowing moment where 2 dogs appeared to have witnessed something out of the ordinary. To begin with, the dogs start the clip barking pretty loudly at something, and then all of a sudden they stop for some unknown reason and stand still. Now, this in and of itself is pretty strange, but it also even gets worse. Suddenly, the collar on the black dog gets yanked up and off, but we cannot see who or what had even caused it. It's long been rumored that dogs are capable of seeing ghosts and the paranormal, so I'm not going to dispel the probability that this could have been more than just a regular sighting. Number 5. Granny Wants In. Joey and Amy Radke, a couple from Minnesota, made headlines back in March of 2022 when they would release footage of what truly was a disturbing sight. According to the couple, they had been out of their new home for some errands, but then kept the cameras on to ensure proper surveillance. And when they returned, they would be greeted by a harrowing sight. The figure appears suspiciously like an old woman in pajamas, and even Radke's pets were so spooked that they literally ran for cover when it appeared. The couple had actually been warned that their home had been haunted by an elderly woman who had passed away while living there, but they ignored all signs, and I doubt they needed any more telling after this. Number 4. Here for a Pint. You know, the fact that a person has passed doesn't necessarily mean that they can't still miss their hobbies. And for our next clip, it appears that someone deceased is still hankering for a nice brewski. In November of 2021, this clip would surface online, showing a strange moment at the Blue House Pub on Corporation Road in Hendon, Sunderland. As the clip would show, a freshly poured pint of beer suddenly tips over, spilling its content onto the floor below. The pub's owner, Darla Anderson, claimed that at that time she had actually heard that the location was haunted, but she never paid any mind to the warnings, especially since she never saw anything weird before. Well, she may be well reconsidering now. Number 3. A jolly ride. Even if they're ghosts, I guess children will always be children, and like the live ones, it appears that a lot of ghost children really just can't wait to have fun. At least that's what it seemed like at the Barnsley Antique Centre in England. The shop, which is known to sell toys and other antique items, got an interesting visitor back in 2017. At that time, Daniel Parquet, a dealer of antiques at the center, suddenly saw a Bambi rocking horse on the ground. He immediately became curious as to how the horse had found its way to the ground, especially since there had been no rain or strong winds around the shop the night before. And so he checked out the surveillance footage and was even more freaked out. The footage begins with the rocking horse being placed gently on a platform, and then suddenly it starts to rock continuously, even though nobody or no thing was coming in contact with it. And then it appeared that whoever was riding the Bambi was having too much fun, as the rocking horse swung so much that it fell to the ground. And hey, if it is a ghost child, can you really blame them? Everyone wants to have fun every once in a while, right? Number 2. The nervous guard. If you're a security guard, it's important to always be alert, no matter what takes place. For Jay Brown, it appeared that this rule was literal, because he was even on guard against what he thought was a ghost. Back in 2018, Jay posted a video on his YouTube channel where he had claimed that he saw a ghost, and sharing the surveillance footage from the hospital where he worked, he showed himself sitting in the lobby and suddenly jolting up when he saw what he believed to have been a ghost.
I looked at it like, okay. I'm like, okay. So I hesitated, so I just threw something because I didn't know what to do.
Now, you might want to dismiss Jay. He's also claimed that he heard footsteps before and even caught a ceiling light fall on its own.
From the first video, but this time I guess it's getting used to me or something. I don't know. That's kind of creepy. I don't know. I don't know who it is or what it is, but leave me alone, for real. Because this is ridiculous.
The guy could be telling the truth, you know. Number 1. The Pale Creature. In July of 2022, a mysterious figure made the rounds after being captured in Moorhead, Kentucky. The footage in question had been released by a media house that focuses on paranormal activity, and it immediately sparked a massive debate amongst believers of paranormal activities online and those who were skeptical. The creature could be seen with a hunched back, slouching, and trying to look for something in particular, although no one really knows what it was. So far, everyone's been dropping suggestions as to what this creature could be. Some would claim that it's an alien, while others claim that it could be a paranormal figure or a spirit. Some even believe it to be the Pale Man from the 2006 movie Pan's Labyrinth. Honestly, your guess is as good as anyone's. We live in a world that doesn't necessarily conform to our vision of the natural, and if these people have shown us anything, it's that we still have a lot to explore overall. Were there any of these clips that surprised you? Don't be scared. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Leave a like on this video, and I'll see you in the next one.